Hi, welcome to Divine Cuisine. I'm Chef K, and today we answer a question from a Southerner. It says, Dear Chef K, I'm from the South. I'm supposed to make a great gumbo, but I can't. It fails every time. I get so discouraged. Well, you come to the right place. Cajun Creole food, one of my specialties. We'll make a gumbo today that is a no-fail gumbo, and you guess what? It's even good for those on the keto diet, as long as you don't use the rice. But I want to deal with something you said in here. I get so discouraged. Discouragement's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. There's three types of discouragements. Mild discouragement we all go through day by day, little by little, but it's still not something that we should go through. Then there's strong discouragement. Strong discouragement is an attack against you. It's an attack against your personality. It's an attack against your spirit. And you want to put that down as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And of course, then the final discouragement is a disabling discouragement. And that's just an out-and-out attack against your life. It will lead to other things, depression, distress, even suicide for some. So even in the smallest bit of discouragement, when it comes, keep in mind a couple of things. Keep in mind that as we close every program off, we say, God is on your side. Somebody said, well, what's that got to do with making soup or cooking bread or whatever else you might be doing? You know what? If you see Jesus in everything you do, then people will see Jesus in everything you do. They will see Jesus reflected in your life. So when discouragement comes, don't take it. Don't accept it. Look at Deuteronomy 31, verse 8 and 9. It says, the Lord himself goes before you and be with you. He will be with you. That's a promise of God. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged. Those are promises of God. How can you be discouraged in something you do if God is right there with you, walking side by side with you? We say in the verses, Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if he made a promise to the Israelites way, way back then, that he is with them, and he'll be with them and go with them and do for them, then he'll be with you and do things for you, and he'll bring comfort to you. In Hebrews 13:5, it says, in the Amplified Version, it says, let your character and your moral disposition be free from the love of money, including greed, avarice, lust, craving for earthly possessions, and be satisfied with your present circumstances. That doesn't mean that you have to live under those circumstances. You can go beyond those circumstances. He says, for God himself has said, I will not in any way fail you, nor give you up, leave you without support. I will not, I will not, I will not. That's in the actual Greek. Those three will nots, making it a surety to you. I will not in any degree leave you helpless or forsake you, let you down, or relax my hold on you. Assuredly not. There's a promise of God. We don't have to be discouraged. We don't have to suffer under what Satan will put you under circumstances. You can rise above the circumstances and know that you can do it. You might fail one or two times, but failure is just an opportunity to learn. Pick up what you can, move forward. Put Jesus in the center of it, and you'll see things happen for you for the greater good. Remember, we said in Psalms 103, verse 3, it said that he forgives all our sins and heals all our diseases. All means all. If you're discouraged, well, that means you're not trusting God. That's a bit of a sin. So he's going to forgive you, and he's going to heal you and bring you closer to him. In fact, that's what verse 6 in Hebrews 13 says. So we take comfort and are encouraged and are confidently and boldly say, the Lord is my helper. I will not be seized with alarm. I will not fear or dread or be terrified. What man can do to me? Same as Psalms 118, verse 6, where it says, God is on my side. So go ahead and make this soup. You can do it. You're going to love it. Let's get at it. So our first step in making a great gumbo is we need to peel and devein our shrimp. That means we just run a knife down the back, take out the vein, and then peel the shells off. Reserve the shells. We're going to make a stock from them. Once again, just run a knife down the back, take a vein off, keep the shell. Okay, to continue our stock, we're going to add some aromatics or mirepoix, which is celery, carrots, onions. Also, we're going to make a bouquet garni, which is simply a little container of spice. You can use cheesecloth or coffee filter, whatever you have that will hold it together. Here we have thyme, a bay leaf, some black peppercorn, and parsley. And of course, we need some water to all those shells. The shells are where the flavor is going to be. Just all that, add that together, bring it to a boil, reduce it to a simmer. So here's our stock ready to go, our broth ready to go on the stove. We'll bring it to a boil, like I said, reduce it to a simmer, and simmer 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so now our shrimp shells have been simmering. We end up with a nice stock. Strain them out, press them down, get all that juice out of there. And there we have it. Now, you can use this as is for soups and stocks and other things. Or you can add your salt to it now and any other kinds of herbs and make a nice sauce out of it. But if you're going to add it to a soup like we are, you want to reserve that salt till later. All right, we begin to build our gumbo. Gumbo yaya. There are many different ways to thicken gumbo. The most predominant way done in Louisiana is done by what's called a roux noir, a black roux. It's a fat of some kind. Today we'll use butter, melted, and then slowly we're going to add flour to this. And we're going to let that flour cook until the roux is very dark, black, noir, roux noir. So we add equal amount of flour, that's about 2 tablespoons. We make our roux. We just let that cook for a bit. It will take quite a bit. Take quite a while to brown. But keep it low, keep the heat low. You don't want to scorch it, you don't want to burn it. It's not roux burnt, it's roux noir, black roux. So now while the roux is cooking, we're going to cook our meats. So first we take some oil in a hot pan. Start off, our first meat is sausage. Now, of course, in Louisiana, they use what's called andouille sausage. It's a very flavorful, nice sausage, pork sausage. But it's not available in most markets. So you can use any other kind of spicy sausage you like. You can use Italian hot sausage, chorizo, any kind of hot sausage you would like. Of course, depending on the sausage, you'll ultimately have a different flavor on your soup, which is just fine. We mentioned that we're making gumbo yaya. The word gumbo is an African word for okra. The word yaya is an African word for no. So gumbo yaya would be gumbo no okra. And we're not going to put okra in this. But okra is one of the methods you can use for thickening the soup. Maybe you don't want a roux. So you can use sauteed okra in your soup. And the final way to do it, just when the soup is finished, you use what's called gumbo fili, which is a dried, ground sassafras leaves. And they will thicken up your soup as well. Only you want to be sure that you do it right just before you serve it. Stir it into the hot soup, because if it's overcooked, it will go stringy on you. So those are your 3 ways to make your gumbo, either with okra, or roux thickened, or gumbo fili, the ground sassafras flour. So now we'll just let our sausage cook, and we'll go on to the next stage. Once your sausage is cooked, you can go ahead and remove it to a plate. Now in the same pan, we're going to brown off our chicken. Just diced chicken is fine. The chicken doesn't have any seasoning to it. So we'll take some seasoning. There's a Chef K Cajun blend, and that'll be in your recipe on chefk.com. We're going to add that and a little bit of salt to it, and we're going to brown that off. Okay, our roux is now at a brown stage. We haven't scorched it, so we continue to cook. It's not black yet. Okay, our roux is ready. It's at the roux noir stage. Look how nice and dark, but non-scorched. So that's important. Now, next thing we'll do, we'll add some garlic. We're going to add our aromatics. Again, this case, the Cajuns, they call it Trinity mix, which consists of onions, celery, and peppers. It can be green peppers or red or yellow peppers, whatever kind of peppers you would like. Add them on top of your roux and the garlic. Cajuns are kind of funny. They call the garlic the Pope. So you have the Trinity mix with the Pope. You're going to let that cook for about 5 minutes. All right, as we continue our gumbo, our Trinity mix with the Pope has been simmering in our roux noir for about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So now we're going to return our chicken to the pot, along with our sausage. Give that a quick stir. To this, we'll add about 2 cups of diced tomato, our shrimp stock, stir it up, and now we add some Worcester sauce, about a teaspoon of that. Hot sauce. This is Chef K hot sauce, but use Tabasco or Frank's or whatever. And some more of our seasoning. And we're going to bring that to a boil. Once your soup comes to a boil, reduce the heat and simmer it for 20 minutes. Now 8 to 10 minutes before your soup is ready, we're going to add that shrimp we cooked, or didn't cook, but peeled and deveined. Stir that in. Along with that, we're going to add some chopped parsley and cilantro, a goodly amount. And some scallions, green onions. Put that in there. And again, let it simmer for the rest of the time. And we'll come back and see what we have. All right, our soup is done. At this stage, just before serving, we would add the feely powder. Now, what's gumbo feely? Gumbo feely is ground sassafras leaves. That's all it is. And it will help to give your soup a little more thickness to it. But like we said, you only want to do this just before serving, and don't let it boil because it will become very stringy on you. So here's our soup. Now you would normally serve it with rice, but if you're on a keto diet, this 1 cup of soup contains only 9 grams of carbs. So it's absolutely keto friendly. Finish it by putting a little more parsley cilantro mix and just scallions, and your soup ready to go. Enjoy it. So there's your gumbo. I hope you enjoy it. And remember, like we said at the start of this program, God is on your side.